Welcome everyone. Call to order the first meeting of Crawfordville City Council on the year 2013. Rise to the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk read the minutes of the December 4th regular city council meeting?
Mayor Milner, welcome everyone, and open the council meeting asking all to stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. Members present were Ms. Valeria Bowman, Ms. Vivian Stewart, Ms. Josephine Chapman, and Vice Mayor Bobby Chapman. Mayor Milner requested a reading of the November 6, 2012 council meeting. After the reading, the mayor stated that when the council members vote, minutes should show how each member voted. He asked that the minutes be corrected to reflect this information. He also stated Ms. Chapman asked for a draft to amendment the zoning code, not the ordinance, and asked for this correction to be made. He asked for a motion to approve minutes with corrections. Ms. Stewart made the motion to approve with corrections and was seconded by Ms. Bowman. Mayor Milner asked all to agree to signify by saying aye. All agreed and the motion carried. The reading of the public hearing, November the 6th, 2012, was requested by Mayor Milner. After the reading, he asked for a motion to approve the minutes as read. Ms. Bowman made the motion to approve minutes as read and was seconded by Ms. Chapman. He asked all in agreement to signify by saying aye. All agreed and the motion carried. Mayor Milner requested a reading of the call meeting, November the 29th, 2012. Mayor Milner noted the clerk had read applications need to be in by November the 20th, not December the 20th as printed. He asked for a motion to approve the minutes as printed. Ms. Stewart made a motion to approve as printed and was seconded by Ms. Bowman. The mayor asked all who agreed to signify by saying aye. All agreed and the motion carried. Ms. Richards spoke as president of the Talbot County Chamber of Commerce. The request concerned the property located between Commerce Street and Highway 278 that remains of a mobile home and would like to see the city use whatever means necessary to get this property clean so as not to discourage new business from coming into the city or county. The mayor responded that Judge Frost had asked for a revised nuisance ordinance so he could address problems such as that. The ordinance passed and is on the books. He has not moved ahead. He knew that property was a concern, but I think his focus has been on Cotton's property, and when he discovered there was asbestos, it knocked everything he had in mind to do in the head. The city was willing to spend a small amount on Cotton's property, but not the amount needed to remove the asbestos. The mayor stated he would talk to Judge Frost. In the mayor's report, he stated that in the minutes we mentioned that the demolition was supposed to take place. Mayor Ware seemed interested a month ago in moving ahead, but nothing has happened in the last month. He stated he would speak with Mr. Ware and urge him to get this job underway. We talked in the past, the final requirements of the sewage plant is the bottom of the sewage pond is
Encapsulated.
Yeah, oh, that word. By a cover of 6-inch layer of dirt or clay. The engineers have completed their plans and submitted it to EPD for approval. We are waiting now to hear from EPD. The cost is much larger than I thought it would be. The engineers now estimate it will cost around $48,000 to encapsulate the pond and provide a drainage structure to be sure that any water that is properly routed out flowing into the stream going away from there. I do not see how the city can afford more than $30,000. If we are going to bid, depending on how they come in, we would have the option to reject all bids. We have not yet gotten the approval back from EPD. In the meantime, we have finished the project we had from EPA on sewer rehabilitation, and there's about $23,000 unspent from that grant. We have been in touch with the manager at EPA that is responsible for managing the funds coming into Crawfordville. They are willing to consider us spending the money on another environmental improvement, the sewage treatment in our city. At least verbally, we have a commitment to spend those grant funds to do the project. There are formal documentation to get signed off by EPA. Mayor Miller moved on to the financial report stating there are funds on hand in our general account to meet our obligations. Mayor Miller stated under new business we have the ordinance requested by Ms. Chapman to change the definition of kennel in the zoning code. He read the title of the ordinance 2012-12-1. He asked Ms. Chapman if she had requested the ordinance if she wished to introduce it. Ms. Chapman replied she would sponsor this ordinance. The mayor stated it would be referred to the City Planning Commission for first public hearing. According to code, it must be advertised at least 15 days before the public hearing can be held. The mayor asked for a motion to adjourn. Ms. Stewart adjourned. Ms. Stewart made the motion to adjourn and was seconded by Ms. Chapman.
Noted a couple minor changes on the second paragraph, the first page, fifth line down. The word amendment should be amend, strike M-E-N-T. And on page 2, nowhere in that second paragraph does it state that we're referring to the well house. It should be demolition of the well house was supposed to be. Are there any other corrections or additions to the minutes? And could I have a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
I motion that the minutes be approved as correct.
Is there a second?
I second.
Motion by Ms. Bowman, second by Ms. Chapman. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carried. When you read the minutes of the special call meeting December the 31st, 2012.
Mayor Milner opened a special meeting welcoming everyone, stating the time and day he has called to stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. Members present were Ms. Vivian Stewart, Ms. Josephine Chapman, and Vice Mayor Bobby Chapman. Mayor Milner stated one of the two items on the agenda was a resolution amending the 2012 budget. The reason for the change was because of a reduction in fines generated and our sales tax revenue was less than last year. I also removed funds from street and drainage repairs. The money for a truck for Larry was not used, so it was removed. The library asked us in the last half of 2012 to fund an extra $1,000 and a $2,000 increase for 2013. The increase for 2000 was added and approved before adoption of the 2013 budget. After the reduction, our income is higher than our outgo. In this budget, he has proposed an increase of $1,000 to the library to cover the last half of the year. We had planned to contribute $3,000 to the state park for electrical and lighting. The engineering and technical groups at the state park headquarters wanted detailed drawings that we did not have. The county has been working on the drawing, and I do not know if they have been submitted as yet. This money has been removed from the 2012 budget, but we will at some time amend the 2013 budget to add it there. He asked for a motion to adopt Resolution 2012-009, amending the budget. Ms. Stewart made the motion to adopt the resolution and was seconded by Ms. Chapman. When polled by clerk, all agreed to adopt resolution 2012-009, and the motion carried unanimously. The mayor moved on to the next item on the agenda, stating the last day to receive applications for the police officer's position was December the 20th, and we have 6 applicants. 2 are older and have more experience. The others are younger and have less experience. After a brief discussion, the mayor and council chose 3 applicants and set a time and date for interviews. There being no further business to discuss, the mayor adjourned the meeting.
Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion that we approve the minutes as read.
Motion by Ms. Chapman, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Stewart. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Minutes are approved. Public request. Ma'am.
My name is Kendall Richards, and I come before you this evening as the president of the Chamber of Commerce. I just want to ask, sir, I noticed that there was a dumpster on the property we discussed in the minutes, and I just wondered if the city had put that dumpster there. It appeared as though some progress had been made.
I was going to make that under mayor's report, but
Well,
I had an offer to remove the debris for a small fee. We also had to pay for the disposal of the tires, and we had to bring in the dumpster to carry the debris away. The person doing the cleanup was responsible for disposing of any construction debris because that could not go back with the garbage. But that was done at city expense.
thank you. I thought perhaps that you had, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for doing that very much. We appreciate it.
Anyone else? Moving on. Mayor's report. I've just given you part of it. If you have been by the well house on Commerce Street, you will see that it's completely weathered in. There's some interior work that still needs to be done, but the walls up, the roof's on, the doors are in place, and it's moving along very nicely. The representative of Fortis, who was our contractor on the sewer rehabilitation, have promised that they will be back in the city in the next few days to identify all the any problems that have been created as a result of the recent rain in the areas where they work. I know we have at least one down on Commerce Street, Willie Clarence's house. I don't know how many others there are around, but it's their responsibility to find them and repair them. We have had a problem down on Newton Place for several years where a sewer trench was sinking. We patched it previously, and it continued to sink. I asked the Fortis people while they had their video cameras in town to make a video of the interior of the sewer line. it showed the sewer is in excellent condition. So it appears that the cause for the sinking was simply a failure to have compacted the soil above the sewer line when it was placed. Today I had Copeland Underground go down and remove the pavement and the soil in that trench down to some level and begin compacting it and then rebuilding it up to the proper surface. So I hope we will have cured that problem for good this time. The repair of the cleaning up of the lot up there, unfortunately, the lot next door to it doesn't look all that good either, but at least it doesn't have the light colored material on it that stands out so much. I think it does give a better appearance to the city's entrance anyway. Moving on, reports. We have a report from the Planning Commission.
Yes, sir. The Planning Commission Board met January the 3rd, which is last week, here at City Hall with all members, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Cooper, and myself. The board recommends approving the ordinance 2012-12-1, 2-1 in favor, with Mr. Stewart, Mr. Cooper approving, and myself not approving. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Maybe.
That ordinance will be placed on the next agenda. It will be advertised for a public hearing at a 6:30 meeting preceding the next regular council meeting. Financial reports. Financial reports through November before you. Now this is based on the budget that we adopted on the 31st. So it shows that our revenues, income is slightly exceeded expectations through November, and our expenses have overrun $196,000 in expenses. They've overrun by $110, so I say we're right on the money there. The next page shows the breakdown of the expenses for general government, which is a $300 overrun. The judicial is a $200 overrun. Public safety is a $200 overrun. Public Works is a $400 underrun. And Culture and Recreation is a $200 underrun. Which makes us out to the totals. The Next sheet is the balance sheet. It shows the funds on hand, as well as the outstanding indebtedness and the our liabilities. Next page is the budget for the water and sewer fund. Total income is about $200 under expectation. Total expenses about $15,000 under expectation. That's primarily because the $15,000 was allocated for the well house construction, and only a small portion of the bills for that have come in yet. The next page is the solid waste expenditures. That has been a $39 overrun. And the total expenses have been $141 overrun. Next page, the balance sheet indicates the funds on hand. And we're in good shape to meet the, continue to meet the obligations that we have. Any questions? That completes the agenda. We have no other items under new business or old business. There will be a special city council meeting tomorrow evening to interview applicants for the police officer job. The first applicant will be here at 6 o'clock. The second will be here at 6:30. We had planned to interview a third. However, when he was notified of his interview time, he informed us that he had accepted employment with the Union Point Police Department. So tomorrow we will only see two of them. Their resumes or applications are available for you to pick up when we leave here. Trudy has them for you in the office. You'll pick them up on your way out. You can look them over and be prepared to for the interviews tomorrow evening. Is there any matter that any member of the council wishes to bring up at this time?
Well, not really. I'd like to thank Ms. Richards how she presented herself to the mayor and the council. Then at 198 Alexander Street, that drainage up above there, it's got a hole on each side of the road. One of them is about 2 foot in there. I'm not sure how deep. That's kind of, I guess it's washing out under that cupboard or whatever the thing is down by where I stay. So on the opposite side of the road where I stay, there's a big hole over there. If somebody come through there and run in that dig, they're gonna be kind of locked down. I'm not sure what's going on with it. That'd be on the west. We're going west when you go down.
Going towards Asbury Hills.
On the, if you're going toward the interstate on the right side, the hole is probably 2 foot, big. So then I'm not sure how deep. On the left side of the road is sinking some. I'm not sure what's going on there. they had some work did there back, when, Mayor, Southeast was mayor, they did some work there, but I'm not sure what happened since then. That's been, it's probably been, what, close to 10 years, whatever that happened, but something going on.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Do I hear the motion?
I motion that we adjourn.
I said.
This meeting is adjourned.